Most of us think compulsively all the time. That is to say, we talk to ourselves. If I talk all the time, I don't hear what anyone else has to say. If I think all the time, that is to say, if I talk to myself all the time, I don't have anything to think about except thoughts. And therefore, I'm living entirely in the world of symbols. Therefore, if you meditate for an ulterior motive, that is to say, to improve your mind, to improve your character, to be more efficient in life, you've got your eye on the future and you are not meditating. Well, meditation, when correctly done, has nothing to do with all that. It's a kind of digging the present. It's a kind of grooving with the eternal now. The place where it's at is simply here and now. If you simply close your eyes and allow yourself to hear all the sounds that are going on around you, just listen to the general hum and buzz of the world as if you were listening to music. Don't try to identify the sounds you're hearing. Don't put names on them. Simply allow them to play with your eardrums. It's all just sound. And if I am talking to you right now and you're doing this, don't try to make any sense out of what I'm saying, because your brain will take care of that automatically. You don't have to try to understand anything. As you hear sounds coming up in your head, thoughts, you simply listen to them as part of the general noise going on, just as you would be listening to the sound of my voice, or just as you would be listening to cars going by, or to birds chattering outside the window. So look at your own thoughts as just noises. And soon you will find that the so-called outside world and the so-called inside world come together. They are a happening. Your thoughts are a happening, just like the sounds going on outside. And everything is simply a happening, and all you're doing is watching it. It's all just sound. The place where it's at is simply here and now.
Alrighty, what is going on today, guys? Evan Aldo here. Really appreciate you guys for showing up and watching me. Was on Paul Barron earlier. We were talking about a few things. Here's the trade I've been in. This was announced in Discord yesterday. It was a really nice one, and right here, so really good risk reward ratio. You know, it's not always going to be a winner, but let me just show you guys. You know, some people, you know, it obviously. I made a YouTube short for this. I'm gonna get it edited soon. But big area. These spider lines are killer. I mean, I actually removed some of my other like SR points from my chart, and I've just been kind of relying on spider lines, which is really good. Now look right here. I mean, just that rejection. Look at that, perfectly just hitting that, and at the same time, gap to RSI is red dot on the 22-minute and the 20-minute right there. So pretty simple, very low risk, very high. Very high reward right there. So now what do we look at? Well, you got 4 yellow X's, you know. You could jump here, maybe you won't. I honestly, based on this environment, no, probably not bueno. Like, probably not anything good, unfortunately. You know, probably not anything that great. Yeah, we would be open for a jump, but could go either way here. I mean, you do have the 20-minute, which looks good. There are a few, the 30-minute, not bad at all. there's a couple things, but be careful, guys. It is the weekend now. You know, traditional markets have closed. Bitcoin kind of in no man's, you know, trying to jump off of 61K, but your next, you know, I feel like the big place everybody's obviously looking at is going to be 59 or 60K, but you know, when you lose, you don't have a spiral line until 56K. You got your trend line at, you know, 54K. If you lose that, you're looking at that 48K. I mean, there's stuff in between, sure. There's 50K, there's other big points, but, you know, where's a good place to add to this short? Well, it depends what short you're talking about. Depends what you're shorting. If you're shorting ETH, I would look at probably 3,100 around these areas. You know, if you could get back to 3,150, or let me just see if something bad could, usually when something bad confirms. I mean, you could try to add now risk-free if you locked in profits. I would not risk now, add now, probably on Monday or Sunday night, you know, Sunday night dumps, you know, Sunday morning before the Sunday night dump, depending. So, yeah. I mean, I guess the main thing I would kind of look at right now for a trade setup would be, you know, let me just show you something like, let's see if we can get a good, you know, I would say you want to do like a low risk, high reward situation here. That's what I would say you want to be looking to do right now. You know, that's not terrible. You know, if you want to bet that, if you want to do a 3-to-1, you'd probably have to go up pretty high here. You know, like that. That's a 3-to-1. Maybe a 2-to-1 would be there. You know, you probably want to do this and then maybe watch it and see what the hell happens. You know, risk a small amount and potentially, you know, try to make a lot. Because if you just risk, you know, a couple $100, maybe $300, you can make $1,000 if you win the trade. Excuse me. Just wanted to finish that drink. So yeah, I kind of like the setup on ETH a little bit better in Bitcoin, but alts have been, you know, bleeding against Bitcoin. Like I've mentioned on Bitcoin, you know, it could come up a little bit in the short term, absolutely, but be careful. You know, it still looks like you got more depression here on a lot of these time frames. It looks like you're going to come down farther. That's all I'm going to say here. It does look like you could come down farther. Trigger wave hasn't even gotten printed on the 4-day, so we could have a lot more blood in the game. Things are not looking the best. You know, things are not looking the best, sadly. And let's see here. Just trying to think as we dominance probably is still bullish. You know, a lot of stuff. ETH, BTC, I could see it coming up a little bit in the short term, maybe holding this area a little bit, you know, hoping that we get that. I mean, if you're going to take a trade right now, I think it's the ETH, low risk, high reward, that type of trade, and that's going to confirm in 19 minutes here. So I think that's the big thing we want to try to get here. I think that's kind of the big thing we want to try to get. Just trying to think here. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, and yeah, by the way, guys, you know, trade setups are in the Discord. If you guys are interested in Discord, link down below. If you guys want one free month in Discord, if you sign up to any of the links down below for any of the exchanges, deposit at least $100, I'll give you one free month in Discord. There's also really good bonuses for all of them that I've worked out for you guys, so check it out if you guys are interested. I'm just trying to think here. So generally, yeah, trying to jump up a bit there. Trigger PayPal looks damn good. I was looking at a few of these. Would it be safer to buy PayPal or the TLT right now? I'd probably say the TLT. Yeah, TLT. I mean, if you can get up to like 120 here, just look at what that would be right from now. That's a 20% gain if you get up to 120. Plus, you get a good dividend. You know, you're already outperforming the S&P 500 relatively soon based on that. I was reading an article on here where was it? I'm surprised. They're saying more interest rate cuts are on the horizon, but high mortgage rates could be here to stay. That's a little I don't know the, you know, that's a little weird. You know, they're likely to cut rates, sure, 2 times. It could be a double cut in September, depending on how things look. But, you know, it's interesting what they think here, because I would have thought that, yeah, I mean, they're a little bit lower than 6.7, I thought as well, you know. I thought, yeah, you would think it would be high 5s, maybe even lower, you know, low 6s, high 5s by the end of the year. But yeah, remain above 6% for the, you know, majority of 2025. So maybe, yeah, maybe they stay right. But yeah, It'll be interesting to see. It'll definitely be interesting to see. CNBC, if we look at, yeah, I mean, NASDAQ down 4. I mean, I think we jumped a tiny bit, on some of these. So, yeah, hovering around there on ETH. What's up, guys? Always appreciate you guys. If you want me to look at anything, let me know. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be the most bullish on any shit tokens or alts right now, but just part of the game. Solana trying to jump up, in a few of these, there's some potentials, kind of just how it is, how it do be. So let's see, that's ETH, that's what's going on. Look at just S&P 500. I mean, that 5-day, the 2-week is the big bear, the big giant bear. No bears allowed. Yeah, 52. This is a big place right here. You come down to this sometime this month, maybe even lower. Who knows? But I mean, my guess is you would probably have one of these trigger waves or something, maybe on the 2-day save the day, as you hit that in a couple weeks or something, and recover from there potentially. If this is like 20, so let's look at 2016, guys. This is important to look at. So let's look at Bitcoin all-time history index. Let's compare this to, 2016. Where was it? Right there. And you had your drop downward. That was your big drop downward. It bottomed in August of 2016. So it could be, it's still not a red Heiken-Ashi, but it could be that 30% drop down, like 46 or something, 48, 46. The inception. Discord VIP is still active. I'll show you it. Yes. We've been, you get the ETH Shore. I'm still, it's the public chats are a little dead because it's summer. People have calmed down a little bit. But yeah, we're still very active in here, I'm posting a lot of stuff. K-Mac's been posting a lot of stuff here. But yeah, been doing really well. We got Nightshade in there as well. So we got a lot of good people in there. I think it'll help you guys. Check it out if you guys are interested. We have a lot of really good trade setups. So yeah. But I mean, if you guys aren't too familiar with the finance world, it's always slower in the summer. I mean, it always picks up once you get to September. I mean, I would say July, from the 3-4 years that I've been running a Discord and doing this in terms of like, social interest in finance, July is usually the worst month, I would say. July or August, that area. And then we kind of continue forward. So yeah. But yeah, that's that. Not too worried. I mean, I think ultimately, end of year or the next year is where the real interest and really where altcoins will kind of take off. I mean, altcoins, it's risky business, Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse. Yeah, I guess he said Trump was not pro Second Amendment. I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously compared to Kamala, I think he would be much more pro Second Amendment. Excuse me. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with that. I think that, with the recessionary fears and all this, if unemployment continues to rise into the election, that's going to help. That's going to help Trump out a lot, obviously, because then you have one of the keys to the White House being, more negative. I would think, I'm just trying to think what you need to get up to for there to be a recession. That's a good damn question to ask. When was a recession announced in 2001? I think if you can get above 5% to 5.5, I mean, this was still high in 2013. I mean, they were trying to say we were out of it, but really, I mean, that's 2015. These areas was when we kind of got out of that. Really got out of that recession, I guess. Appreciate you, Brom. See you in there. We'll be doing some live chats and stuff. You get to meet me, talk to me. If you want to. When Trump gets elected, we moon. Most likely. Most likely in the 4-year cycle too. Technicals would support that generally. And for other obvious reasons. You got the trend reversal here, so it depends. It depends how much. I think this would hurt Kamala and help Trump generally. The question here is how high does this have to get to trigger a recession? That's the question I don't know. You know what I mean? I really don't know the answer to that. So, yeah. Apple stock holding up pretty damn good, unlike a lot of other things right now. So maybe we'll hold that. Maybe honestly, probably not, but we'll see. We'll see. Definitely have to see here. When you look at Ethereum right there, I mean, trying to hold on, like I mentioned. I mean, we'll see. We'll definitely have to see. Made a lower low. I think if we could confirm this in 12 minutes, you would have a better case to jump up a little bit higher. But the weekend, I would generally expect to be pretty choppy. I mean, if we're just going on spiral lines, like, damn, I mean, you lost that area. Like, let's just look at like spiral line, 58, 59 would be your next area there. I mean, if you can't hold that, you're looking at 56, like I mentioned. I mean, it's not the best. Let's go on. Just trying to think too, if there's anything else happening. I'm just curious if this affected, kind of lower, dead heat here. I mean, this is just pure toss up, in terms of these betting odds for Kamala or Trump. I mean, I would argue if Kamala has a chance, you would need the S&P 500 to recover. You would need unemployment to probably stay under 5%. Those situations, and even then, it would be hard. But we'll see what happens. Ukraine, huh? I gotta look into that. Huh. We'll see what happens there. The Ukraine situation, that's going to go on in a while. I also got the Israel situation. I would probably help Kamala's chances if better things happen internationally in terms of Biden or whatever, but it's probably going to be pretty unlikely. I highly doubt Biden would accomplish anything internationally between now and the election. I mean, it could be a rip the Band-Aid off situation where we come down, quickly. We really get down to these big places, high 40s, low 50s quickly, and then, then you really recover. If Bitcoin goes down to high 40s, low 50s, I would expect to eat that, I mean, that would be a 30-something% correction for Bitcoin, maybe 41 for ETH, 3,400 I think is going to be pretty big. So yeah. I mean, this weekly pretty no bueno. This is a trigger wave. Yeah, I would consider, well, you know what I mean, almost a trigger wave to the downside. But when's the last time you had a damn trigger wave to the downside in ETH? I mean, oh, God, April 22. I mean, you're not, in terms of the 4-year cycle, it's unlikely that we'd see anything that bad. Yeah. So, I mean, if you think we're in a bear market, if you think it's like the 2018 year or whatever, or the, 2022 year, then we're kind of, was that both April of May of 18 and then, yeah, around the same time though. So yeah. I just want to see how. Let's see. Let's look at a couple of the alts. I mean, generally probably depressing as we would assume. 36 cents for Cardano. Big thing here. On Cardano, if we could just hold this area, that's a big area for like that low risk, high reward thing. Now we can't even, on ETH, we can't even damn hold the 3,000. So definitely not looking like the best thing, which weekends are, just like that. But maybe we can, maybe that low risk, high reward situation. Would I be entering it right now based on what that 20-minute looks like? Hell no. But, anything could happen here. Anything could happen here, guys. So yeah. View up coming down there. I'm just looking at this. I mean, I think the silver lining of all this is I think when you do confirm that 2-week trigger wave, which is probably going to take its damn time, but that's probably going to be a good buy signal, real good buy signal for a lot of these alts. Curious about Crow. Yeah, the trigger wave just peering its head out on that 2-week. Yeah, I mean, you're still above that low of July, so you didn't make a lower low yet. Not that, but in all likelihood, you might come down to that 7-cent range again. So that's what we got to be prepared for. Just trying to think here. Any others I want to look at the moment? got to be something. Got to be something I want to look at. Just trying to think here. Trying to think. Why am I blanking out with what I want? Yeah, there was AVA. Yeah, AVAX I looked at on Paul Barron's show earlier today. Again, I don't know if you're gonna go this low to 15 bucks or whatever, but yeah, man, some of these are. There's some good news coming out with ADA. Like there's some good fundamentals about it. So if we do hold $20, it would probably be because of that. But again, for alts, you know, a lot of these we were looking for a weekly trigger wave. It came a little bit low, then got invalidated. Now we're looking for a 2-week trigger wave. It is ugly, man. It is ugly, Planty. It's very, you know, I would argue it is pretty ugly. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if we see more downside action on the ETH or Bitcoin or whatever. I mean, if we look at TLT's looking damn good. TLT is a good bet too, because that's like you probably get a 10 or 20% by the end of the year potentially. I mean, it's almost a no-brainer. They're going to cut rates. I mean, and then 30-year Treasury, that's going to probably continue to kind of fall here to a certain extent at least. Yeah, to that point or whatever. Let's see. We're going to get a rate cut in September. A double. It could be a double rate cut. Let's look at the Fed watch tool. I mean, no, it's going to be at least a 30 it's a 70% of a double rate cut. So 50 basis points down in September. You're half and half for a whole, what would we at now? 25 to, so you got almost a chance of like a full point down, a double, you know, this is almost two. I don't think they're going to cut it that much, but we'll see what happens. If things get really bloody, they will. So, I mean, yeah, most likely it's going to be a double rate cut. And Fox Business is saying that damn double rate cut isn't going to lower mortgage rates that much. Yeah, I wonder. It's like, 30-year mortgages came down a lot today, I think. You know, and I think it's even lower than that. It should be at like, no, that's probably about right. Yeah, 6.7, maybe a little lower depending. But yeah, no, we are rate cut-esque. Curious about oil and such. That's down, yeah. I mean, that's probably going to continue down most likely. How about cattle? Cattle, I think, will actually come down for a change. I think cattle is actually going to come down. I mean, everything points to real rate cuts. Unemployment, all that. They would have to be crazy not to... Like, if they don't cut rates, just imagine how much that would blast these markets, just destroy some of these markets. I mean, if you want to just kill every single meme coin and garbage coin out there, that's the way to do it. But even without that, even just cutting by a little bit, you're still... I mean, I think Pepe is... Some of these are really going to, I think, fall off. I mean, you're not looking too bueno. Blood... I mean, this is just textbook short area, short situation, short, you know, just short, you know. Let's just look at this. What can we do with Pepe right here? Yeah, I mean, it's hard to sometimes. It's you could go like that. You know, you could try to get a 2-to-1 like that, a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio, not terrible. I mean, you could be really, you know, for this, I feel like be a little bit more greedy because it looks so bad, but I could be wrong here. I mean, it's probably right there. And yeah, you'd have to still though. I appreciate you, Cryptodontist. You watched. I appreciate you for tuning into that. Shout out to the Cryptodontist. So yeah. And ETH, I'm just like, we're just struggling. We're just trying to hold, get back above, 3 minutes to confirm that 30-minute. That would bring the odds up of jumping up a little bit here. We just want to try to do something. We want to try to get what we want, So, yeah. But yeah, this place right here, we just want to jump above it. These spider lines are killer, guys. I think I updated the charts with these spider lines. I've been removing more of my standard SR points and just looking at more of the Spidey lines, just like retro. That's, if you guys watched me back in like 2021, that's what we used to do. And I mean, 21, I mean, you get probably, I mean, there's only so many of you that watched me back then. I think the Cryptodontists did, but we did well, towards that top area. I was bearish I was pretty bearish in a lot of, towards the top, towards the end of 21. I got very bearish in April of 22, got that right. I was overly bearish at the end of 22, towards the bottom. I screwed that up in the beginning of 2023, but, you're not going to be right about everything. I feel like I lost a little bit of my mojo at those points, kind of overcomplicated things a little bit, but yeah. So, yeah, render, that's, I don't think that's looking too good. I mean, my guess is you'll end up somewhere between low 4s to high 3s, or maybe even down to 350 right there. Fundamentals. 4-year cycle and fundamentals are macro bullish. I would say they're short-term bearish, though, for the next month or two, bearish. But render, nah, I think you need to be in the red in the 4-day at least here, and I think you'll probably come down farther. We'll see what happens, though. Sol, if we just look at, what this has done in this environment, down. I mean, it's not, the wild thing is you're still generally, above quite a bit of those July numbers with everything happening. And, I think you'll at least get back to 120 here, potentially farther down. So that's what I'm kind of looking at. Solana. Yeah. I mean, very short term in all these. I mean, ETH trying to jump back above, 3K. We like that, Got to cheer for it. Solana even trying to, maybe jump up a little bit more here. Maybe you could get a little something, highly risky, but, you're trying to get up to there or whatever. I mean, it's back up to 164, very low risk, very high reward. If we could jump up a little bit, maybe. But yeah. Aave is a good one to look at. Let's take a look at Aave. Trigger wave right there. So, and this one's kind of held up damn well. Yeah, Aave is one of the few that looks good. I don't know if I would want to long it, based on how the rest of the market looks, but maybe you could jump up a little bit more. Maybe you could get a little bit more, maybe back up to 154. It looks decent. I don't know why it looks decent, but it looks decent. But yeah, guys, always appreciate you guys smash the like button if you want one free month in Discord, where I post the trade setups ahead of time, with the tags and all that, including this one right here. If you sign up to any links down below for the exchange, deposit at least $100, then open a support ticket with your UID. We'll get you sorted one free month in there, so you check that out. I think there's opportunity to be made. For the people, anyone copy trading, I think I'm going to end that, because now I'm trying to do the breakout trading, the prop firm trading. And it's just that so many accounts to manage. I'm just like overwhelmed with accounts to manage, so it just kind of gets to be too much sometimes. So I think I may end that once I get an outcome on the trades that I'm in. So yeah, Chainlink, that's a good one to look at. It's definitely a good one to look at. Let's look at Chainlink. Keep that up. So yeah, I mean, it's down to that point. It doesn't look too good in some of these time frames. And your major scene of the crime is at 870. Will you get there? I don't know. But what I do know is this 2-week trigger wave is probably going to give you the second half of this bull run. See, this was the first half of this bull run, right from here to here. It's a nice jump off, if I do say so myself. The second one, where could that bring us to? You know, I would say worst case scenario is probably like 880 or something. I would argue this would bring you up probably even more than that, you know, to something, let's say 200% or something if you were to come down that far. I think you'll at least get to $30 in this bull run. You'll probably get higher, though. You'll probably get significantly higher than that, but we'll see. But that's what I think. I think those trigger waves in the 2-week, you know, weekly trigger waves, yeah, invalidated, basically. But the 2-week trigger wave, I think that's what we got to fight for now. So, yeah. Curious about Link BTC. Did this make a new low against Bitcoin? Yes, it sadly did. Yeah. Well, not from 23. Not from 23 yet. So we'll see. Hopefully we could hold that. But I don't know if it looks the best against Bitcoin. Some of these can continue to bleed against Bitcoin for into the end of the year at the latest, I would argue. You know, we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. I mean, what's happening right now kind of threw a wrench into a lot of our hopes and dreams a little bit. And ETH is falling. Man, I wonder what'll... So we did confirm the bull div there. Hourly still questionable. 6 minutes not bad. But yeah, it's anyone's game. This is tough to say. You know, I think you're trying to catch falling knives here. But looking at crypto compared to NASDAQ and SPY isn't the worst thing. Because when you look at something like, you know, NASDAQ right here, you know, right to that point, I mean, that's been in a downtrend for a while now, you know, and it looks like we're going to keep going down, unfortunately. Yeah, trigger wave didn't work out too well in March of 22 there for the NASDAQ, but right there, that one kind of, yeah, and that was a big drop down. 36%, yeah. And what are we down so far? 10? Are we down 10? Probably less, honestly. No, it is 10. It's 11, yeah. It depends how you want to bet on this. I mean, Pelosi bought the dip on NVIDIA. So maybe not the worst place. I mean, but yeah. Yeah, we would have to look at NASDAQ futures. Yeah, the futures, if it's still moving or whatever. Where do I think Bitcoin will get a relief bounce? Anywhere that 60K is obviously big. I would say if we get to 56, we get some type of significant thing. And look at how... I just want to show you guys something here, though. Because this point, this 59 isn't that relevant. Look at the last time. We got to jump there. The spiral line is more damn relevant. You know what I mean? That 59, nope. You just came lower. The spiral line is more relevant. The spiral line marked the damn bottom there. So that's what we got to realize. So I don't think 59 to 60K is not as you know, as big as some may think. I think what's bigger would be around 56K, and what's huge would be around 48K. And what's the biggest possible thing? 45, 46K, you know what I mean? I don't think we'll go under 45K, but I could be wrong. I'm just looking at history. I'm looking at 4-year cycle. I don't think we'll go under 45K. But anything is probable or possible. Yeah. So that's what we got to realize. Just trying to think here. How's Solana looking? Yeah, similar to, you know, hoping we could jump a bit, you know, off this point. Is it looking good? I mean, it's damn hard to trade on a freaking, you know, Friday night or whatever. It's hard. It's not the easiest thing to do. I'll tell you that right now, guys. It's not the easiest thing to do to trade on a weekend. Can Solana bounce here? Maybe. It is a big point. Can it just roll over and come down? Sure. Can it be sideways and bore you to death all weekend, then stop you out in both ways? Yes. So, yeah. I mean, it's just a big sell-off, you know. That's what happens. That's what's happening. Germany, the unemployed, yeah. U.S. job market's getting worse, you know, for whatever reason. I think part of that reason has to do with the, you know, AI could be part of that. Or just even the charts show at the TA, you know, unemployment rate has looked bullish. You know, it's still not a crazy high unemployment rate. You know, I think you got to be probably above 5.5 at least. I'm not an expert on what considers, you know, a recession or whatever, but you got to be, you know, let's just draw this out a little bit. You know, if we were to follow this situation here and repeat or whatever. Oh, that's a month by. Damn, I didn't realize you could be. Yeah, you definitely. Wait a second here, though. Oh, wait, yeah, now we're. Yeah, that's the. Yeah. It would be unlikely you would get bad enough for a recession by election. It would be unlikely that you would get, you know, above 5.5. I think it would show a bad, like, short-term economy, which would help out Trump a lot. Yeah, Trump's talking about immigrants taking jobs. I have no clue if that's something that would bring the unemployment rate higher. You know, somebody working a, you know, unskilled labor job for cheaper than a U.S. citizen would work it for. I don't know. I'm not an expert on that. I have no idea, honestly. Just not something in my forte at all. I mean, that's obviously a big election issue, you know, that's going to be continued to be talked about. I think Trump needs to change his rhetoric on it a little bit, you know. The thing that was kind of cracking me up, how you know, he was saying they were, like, I'm not even going to get into it, but I think, like, there's better ways to word things, you know what I mean? If you're trying to, like say what you need to say to win, you know what I mean? Don't just say... You know, you're going against a pretty weak candidate. You know, you say what you need to say to get in to win. Don't make it harder than it has to be. So yeah. The jobs report today showed the 0.4. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would say immigrants, they're willing to do that. Usually they don't take jobs that people want, though. They don't take skilled jobs typically because they don't have the skills, unfortunately. You know what I mean? It could be wrong, though. But I've never seen an immigrant take a job I wanted, if you know what I mean. I've never really seen... I mean, they would have had, for an immigrant to take a job that I wanted, they would have to have been in the U.S. for a while and learned a skill and be very skilled at something. You know what I mean? They don't take skilled jobs for the most part. But I don't know. I'm not an expert on any of this. So, and I mean, there's only, say Trump gets back in, there's only so much he's going to be able to do to curb that. There's only so much he can do. But we'll see. Because, I mean, the people that say one-party system, it's a one-party system, they're right to a certain extent, you know, unfortunately. Trying to jump up on ETH or something, this is where it gets, you know. We may get down quicker than some may think, you know. I mean, I could even remove this point at 59 or whatever. You know, this trend line, that area. May get down quicker. But does look like continuation downward. Let's look at, yeah, that's what we want to look at, total 3. Let's see here. So we lost this area, sort of. This actually looks better than I expected it to look. Let's get rid of tether here. Election day scalping. Oh, man. Election day scalping. I don't know if that would be any too much different than regular scalping. I wonder how, I mean, I would assume Trump winning would most likely, I mean, that's like anything else, most likely you know, on day after election day, or it's announced that Trump wins, most likely it would cause crypto to pump, but we'll see. Big area right there for total 3, but other than that 2 week, yeah, this looks like it needs more pain. Yeah. How about gold here? I'm just, oh, the big chart that we want to look at, gold versus SPY. I mean, if we're going into a recession, see right there, yeah, you could hold that area. But on the grand scheme of things, it generally does kind of bleed against S&P 500. I mean, this was the big run in the 70s, and then that was a nightmare, and then, I don't know. But I would argue, yeah, gold could be a safe bet, a decent bet. I would probably rather buy the TLT at the moment, but I don't know. How about silver? Samuel, yeah. Isn't it for like all states or something? Yeah. Well, Trump's got it in the bag. If it's announced we enter a recession, unemployment goes above 5% or 5.5%, then yeah, he's got it in the bag. But I don't know if it's gonna really. I mean, we didn't like generally in a recession, guys. S&P 500. I mean, I kind of count COVID to be a recession. Like, I mean, that was only 35%. I didn't even realize that. But yeah, I think you need it to go down like at least 35, 40%, you know? Like, what would that be from, or the general 50% that we wait for in recessions? I mean, all the way back down to pre-COVID numbers, you know, 2018 numbers? I don't know. But yeah, somber, yeah. We'll see. We'll definitely see. Definitely see. I feel like it's too good to be true for Trump. We're in a recession. Don't know. We'll see though. Maybe we lose this area here. Just trying to look at this a little bit. I mean, yeah. What are funding rates at? Generally still positive. This could be one of those where as soon as they get generally negative, then you roll, you know, go the other way. Total crypto market cap 2.3 trillion. NFTs have probably gotten obliterated 28K for, okay, not that bad actually. Unapes 4,500, no bueno, 1.5 ETH. So, yeah. Pudgies. Miladies. Man. Trying to fight back for ETH, but it's not looking, fortunately, not really looking like it at the moment. So, yeah, that's that. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man, man. Man. Oh, man. I mean, I feel like you're going to get that jump up at some point. Like, I mean, if you're trying to, like, I mean, low risk, high reward right here. You know, risk management comes into play. But just looking at this, not the worst risk reward ratio. If you want to get it, you could probably get it. Yeah, but there's a good shot you're going to get up to 3,100 again. But extreme measures, times call for extreme measures. 2 yellow X's there is just yellow X galore. I mean, we'll see. And then you're just, yeah. I mean, sometimes when you do get a lot of freaking yellow X's like this, you're okay, but come up a little bit, but yeah. Fetch, you bought a little fetch. Yeah, that area. Yeah. We'll see. I think you will eventually come down farther, but we will have to see what ends up going on. It ends up going down. Ooh, ooh. So yeah. I know some people have been talking about tether dominance. That's a bearish chart, I guess, for general markets. You know, if you're thinking that we're gonna jump up here, and you might be right. Yeah, it looks neutral to more bullish. You know, if you look right here, that jump up and then that. Yeah, I mean, it generally always goes up. I mean, even during, oh wait, no, it's gone down. Yeah, generally gone down. So, but on the macro, it goes up. So I don't think it's that big of a concern. I think there's better things to look at in terms of predicting Bitcoin's price. That's just my opinion. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, if you guys are interested in trading, check out the Discord. A lot of really good stuff in there. If you guys want one free month in Discord, if you sign up to any exchanges down below, deposit at least $100, give you one free month in the Discord. So yeah, man, what are we down on the week, or on the last 10 days or whatever? 17%. Yeah. I mean, you could argue a head and shoulders and bring it down farther. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, maybe on the verge of making a lower low here. Maybe on the verge of making a lower low. Hey, what's up, Jamie? Let's see. Yeah, and it looks like we're going to probably make a lower low and get down to that 59 or whatever. I have a take profit for one of my shorts there, so I'll be happy. But rest in peace, first damn market. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll definitely, I mean, people are panicking, saying it's the end of the world. We'll see. I mean, I think we're going to go down farther. I think August is going to be a damn red month. Already is so far, obviously, 2 days, but we'll see. But yeah. DXY was also down, I think, which just shows the starting to come back up. I mean, DXY is not, I don't know. And if that jumps up, then, yeah. 3-day doomsday, yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. That's a no-brainer. And we do have a... Some of you guys like this, some of you guys don't. There is a new moon coming up. And let's see there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's tomorrow, right? Tomorrow or Sunday is the new moon. That could be a Sunday night dump. Down Muss. Down Muss. Moon boys, yeah. So yeah. Moon boys, we look at the moon to predict what's going to happen. So yeah, I mean that's life. I mean, let's see. I'm just trying to think if you're trying to. Sometimes I just get so infatuated with like trying out different risk reward ratios in this. Like if you're trying to like enter a fresh, like how could you do this if you want to enter like a fresh Bitcoin short? I would say that spiral line is probably your friend. I wouldn't even fuck with 59K. I would just be like, I mean, if you wanted any type of good risk reward ratio, you'd probably want to, yeah, maybe a stop above 64 or something. I mean, you may get stopped out. Maybe you could risk a little bit to make a good amount or something. Who knows? Market manipulation. There's always, yeah, I bought it, so I bet it's 69K in 21. Yeah, it's manipulated. Oh, yeah. I bought it at the exact high at 73K. Manipulated. Manipulated. They were out to get me. Oh yeah. I mean, there's always going to be that shit with every asset class. But yeah, let's see here. So it is 6:52 p.m. Eastern right now. Been on about 50 minutes. Okay, let's look at some like altcoin evaluations. Those sadly are not what a lot of us have hoped. Much worse, and it's kind of looking like end of year or the next year is when altcoins are really going to start to do well. 4ELXs, I mean, how much more can you bleed for total 3 against Bitcoin? I mean, probably not more than 20 or 30%. There are people who would tell you we're going to go all the way down here. I don't know. But what I do know is it could take a little bit longer. Monthly bull div is going to be a tough thing to fight for the bears as soon as that gets confirmed. That could be months though. It could be September if the Fed really starts to really turn the lower the rates down. It could be September. So yeah, for alts, a lot of the bull run has never started, unfortunately. Alts have gotten really hammered. So yeah. Just trying to think here. Yes, how was that? Oh, let's go others versus BTC. I would hope that you would hold this. You may not, but on a monthly chart, it does not look like the worst thing in the world, but it is concerning. I would hope you'd hold this area, that area in September or something. The Fed may really save us here, because I think when you go into recessions now, or you get close to going into recessions, they really help you out in terms of printing more than they should, quantitative easing and all that. So we'll see. UK mortgages, what the hell's that? Let's see here. Yeah, so they let their rates are always a bit lower. European stocks. Nvidia, all that. Yeah. Treasuries, I mean, we know they're down. Look at the 10-year. Wow. Yeah, I mean, what was the lowest this was at? Yeah, that was a low and a half. Yeah, that's back to those December, yeah, those numbers. So, yeah. China, yeah, I mean, if you consider farmland, yeah, they're stockpiling our farmland. I would argue, yeah, gold. I mean, they obviously have Bitcoin off the books. It's not considerably labeled. They got a lot of shit. They got a lot of shit. If you think we're going into a recession, then yes, gold would be the move. Commodities would be the move. I think with the quantitative easing type thing, I would still argue that, this is a recession that real estate probably won't get hit that hard in, because there's still like a shortage as well, but hard to say. I mean, it depends how paranoid you want to be. It really depends what you want to, what you think. I mean, yeah, gold will probably continue to do well. So will the TLT. I would argue farmland probably will continue to do well. Real estate, I would say farmland and real estate are going to be a little bit riskier, because that could actually come down in a recession. But I feel like real estate skips a recession. Like, I think the real estate, the farmland, that type of thing is going to hold up generally pretty well. And I think the rate cuts will kind of help that out too, to a certain extent. If history is kind of any indication with what happened in the 70s, all that, and even early 2000s, about 24 years ago. Yeah, I mean, China owns a lot of U.S. farmland, yeah, and they're probably, making bugs on it or whatever. Bugs aren't vegan, though, so, yeah. That's the reality of it all. That's the reality. Unfortunately. That's a euro. That's probably. Oh, that's interesting. It's up a little bit. Interesting. That actually looks pretty good. It could be a a facade though. Let's see here. ETH trying to hold on. Man, yeah, it's just like it could be one of those really freaking bloody weekends too. Yeah, if you can't hold. I mean, double spider lines usually are decent if you look right there. But you did have, yeah, I mean, you had then Thursday from that low, yeah. Is Bitcoin making a lower low yet? Ooh. Almost. Very close. Very freaking close. Let's see. Man. Yeah. We gotta look. Can we hold right here? It's probably... I would argue not too bueno. I would argue not too bueno. But yeah. Tough times. At least Apple held up well. At least Apple held up somewhat well. Anyway, guys, I'm probably going to wrap it up. There's not too much else to talk about. If you're longing right now, you're playing Russian roulette. I mean, I would say overall, there are some low risk, high reward, things for longing. But, I mean, if we'd have to pump right now, we'll probably watch this make a lower low on the stream or whatever. Japan, yeah, I could care less about what they're doing, but yeah, for alts as of right now, it's looking like later this year, early next year. At the earliest, it looks like September. So at the earliest, when the Fed cuts rates, officially cuts rates. So yeah. Just want to see here. Oh, can we jump? Made a lower low on Bitcoin. ETH is buyers are trying to really defend this area, but it's not. I don't know if I like what I'm seeing, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. No say. Yeah, 22 yellow axes, all that crap. Pull div right there. Maybe it'll pull off. Maybe we'll hold. Maybe we'll just do it. Yeah. I mean, this is going to be, if you're trying to long, this is probably the most mind-boggling thing right now. I mean, maybe you can make that higher low. Maybe as we get into the night. 7 p.m. now. I mean, some people get their paychecks. They'll buy it up. They see buy the dip, go to the store, buy the dip, get the chips and dip, for the Friday night, gain some weight, Yeah, but yeah, that's that. 50K could absolutely be in play. I don't think it's going to go there tomorrow, but yeah, you could absolutely hit 50K. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up. Maybe we'll hold here for ETH and Bitcoin. Maybe we'll get a jump up finally. It is a very low risk, high reward potential opportunity if you're trying to take the long, but you'll probably most likely lose it because definitely not looking like the best situation here. But yeah. Anyway, guys, if you want 1 free month in Discord, if you sign up to any exchanges down below and do deposit at least $100, I'll give you 1 free month. Just open a support ticket in the Discord. 30-minute yellow X again here on ETH. So yeah, I will see you guys soon. Really appreciate you guys. Have a good one.